is you fix entitlement spending at a percentage of GDP. Now, I recommend 12% for this, okay? I've done some research, and 12% in 2008, spent something like 12.51% of our gross domestic product, and that's the final value of all goods and services within our economy, the United States of America. In 2008, we spent $1.787 trillion. Okay, that's 1,787 times more than a million on entitlements. Okay, if we had spent 12%, that would have been 1.715 trillion. It saved us $72 billion. Now, $72 billion might only buy one or two stealth airplanes, but it's $72 billion. Okay, and this is 2008. We were already stretching in 2008. Okay, entitlement programs, when they're wrangling over the budget, and each one of our representatives in Washington is fighting over what they think their constituency wants them to get, or what they've convinced themselves their constituency wants to get, they fight and fight and fight over this stuff, so that, as Lord Woodhouse Lee is alleged to have said, when the population, we've discovered we can vote ourselves gifts from the public treasury. So that we're voting for the guy who promises this the most. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, what was his promise? A chicken in every pot, a car in every garage, something like that. Well, we're realizing that now. And this largesse is being voted on not just by us people, but by the big moneyed interests behind manufacturing, behind the automobile industry, behind the electronics industry, behind the National Rifle Association. These people are up there claiming to represent large constituencies, and they do, saying, no, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. So you have all these special interests in Washington competing for a fixed amount of money. So since it's such a political landmine to cross one of these powerful political action committees, these guys, instead of saying yes to one entitlement, no to another, moving money from this one, they take money out of things like the military budget. They take money out of space exploration. They take money out of everything else that, as a progressive nation, whether you believe in these things or not, or whether you think we need to go to space, whether you think we need to be funding the arts, nothing. Those are the kinds of things that keep a nation moving forward. And if you don't think that we need to keep moving forward in today's environment, you just need to look around. The Europeans have gotten together in a European economic union. All right, it's moving towards the United States of Europe. Their economic power massively increased when they implemented this. Okay, so they're a huge economic bloc that is a challenge to us. As of yet, they're not that great a challenge, or they're not an overwhelming challenge. We're not in danger of being whooped by the Europeans economically right now, but they're coming up. And it's because they're doing the things they need to be doing to ensure their long-term economic survival. Asia, all right, and I can't remember where I got this phrase from, and I think it was from a science fiction novel. It was the Greater Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, and apologies to whoever really came up with that. But that's what they're moving toward. You've got Australia, China, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam coming on strong. You've got a lot of those Asian emerging economies. And China, once they get their feet under them, they're going to be a massive, massive bull in the China shop. They're going to run all over everybody economically, globally, like we have done for the last 100 years. Okay. So China's doing that, and what are we doing? Well, we're doing NAFTA, which we kind of like, but we're not going to do, but yeah, we're going to do. We need to get in bed with as many economical partners as we can. We need to get in bed stronger with Canada. We need to get in bed stronger with Mexico. We need to go on into South America. It's in our hemisphere, people. It's our backyard. We need to go in there and make those people our staunchest allies. We need economic ties to us. So if we do that, which we're not going to, because this is hard political choices and we're going to continue to do the easy thing and slide on into oblivion, back into dictatorship, but I'm trying to offer a solution. If we develop our own co-prosperity sphere with all of North America, Central America, and South America, we will have set the stage. The weaker partners in this are going to suck from the stronger partner, us, in the short term. But in the long term, as we all build together, if we're smart, and we know we're smart, okay? We know we're smart. We've got brilliant people in this country. We pick on them and call them geeks and everything, but we know we got brilliant people in this country. They can figure this stuff out for us if we'll just look past our own little short-term benefits of, well, I need my food stamps, well, I need, my crop subsidized, well, my child deserves to go to school, and my child this, and when I'm old I need to this. Okay. The thing is these entitlements are killing us as a people. Not having them might kill us as individuals, but it's not going to kill us as a people. All right? And that's what our survival comes down to. I mean, is your personal survival more important than your country's survival? And if it is, then continue on. You have a right to your opinion, you have a right to vote your conscience, whatever, continue on. But if the survival of us as a people, us as a nation, if you have any pride in yourself and as an American, or you can even spell patriotism, the survival of this country and what it stands for should matter something to you. And if it doesn't have to. All right? But for the people for whom it does matter, we have got to take control of this. We've got to, a constitutional amendment, a law, whatever, that says 12% of the GDP is all that you can spend on entitlements. Trickle that down to the state level. We coerce the states into stuff all the time. We tell them, look, either you make your legal driving age 18 or we're going to withhold 25% of your federal highway funds. The federal government coerces the states all the time. So if you want to coerce them into something that is going to save our country, and that's pass constitutional amendments limiting entitlements, state and federal, to a certain percentage of the national GDP at the federal level, the state GDP at the local level. All right, and don't let the federal government pour more money into that. Okay, if your state is poor and you want to do better, move to another state. Now, if you have the gumption and the motivation and the determination to make your state better, which I have that, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make my country better. I'm trying to do the things I think I need to do to inform people that we're on the wrong path. We're going to wind up in a desperate situation. Now, the cynical part of me says, good, let it happen. Let's spend all the money. When we're all broken, nobody's taking our IOUs, and we've already mortgaged everything back to the Chinese that we bought from them, and they still own parts of our country, and we start seeing something out of a William Gibson novel happening on a daily basis. Let it happen, because what will happen to the American people then? Well, if you don't have a government tit to hang on to, you're going to have to figure out something really quick. You're either going to have to root, hog, or die. That means you're going to have to get out there, you're going to have to work, you're going to have to figure out how to survive, or you're just going to have to perish. All right? Now that's where we're going. We spend all the money, and sooner or later they're going to stop taking our IOUs. Some people wouldn't take California's IOUs, and you've heard the saying, as goes California, so goes the rest of the nation. We're headed there. We are headed there. There is no doubt about it. The historical data, the trend line is all there. Those who do not read history and learn from it are doomed to repeat it. This is not something new. This has happened many, many times before in the history of various civilizations. Now, we've got other problems in this country, but the biggest one facing us right now is this thing on entitlements. Universal health care is fixing to add to that. All right? So if you want universal health care now, you have to realize that you're dooming future generations to a life of squalor and hardship.